Speaking of questions, it's time for our KSAT Q&A, and we are pleased to be joined by San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. We took a few weeks off. We needed time apart from one another, so now he is back. Mr. Mayor, appreciate your time. Talk about the fact that, we are just days away from Election Day for what is a very important bond election for the city. Talk about the importance of that and what it means to our viewers out there.
Well, thank you, Myra and Steve, for having me. Yes, it's a very important election to continue to improve and maintain the infrastructure, our streets and sidewalks and roadways, our parks. Citizens from all across the city came together, as they do every 5 years, to assemble a list of priority projects as is going on the ballot this Saturday, May 7th. And it is $1.2 billion worth of critical infrastructure for our city. And so we're asking folks to go out and vote for propositions A through F to keep our city moving in the right direction and make sure that we have that critical infrastructure. The important thing to note is that it is a list of really critical projects that will improve every corner of this city, neighborhoods across the city, and it will not raise taxes, and no new taxes associated with this bond. In fact, the city council will be reducing the tax rate and increasing exemptions in the FY23 budget to help with to ease the burden that we've all experienced through getting those property assessments. But again, critical infrastructure on the May 7th ballot. Please go vote for propositions A through F.
I'm glad you mentioned the fact that there is no tax increase here, because we've gotten a lot of questions about that. Because when you look at the wording of these proposals on a ballot, the wording for legal reasons, it's confusing a lot of the time. And so it may read as though there is some sort of tax increase associated with these. But can you explain that, even despite that wording, how there is not actually an increase?
Well, the state legislature required school districts in particular to put language on the bond that is truly misleading with regard to how it affects taxes. But all across this community, all across the state, people are getting their tax assessments from their properties back in the mail. And of course, they're astronomical. So here in the city of San Antonio, we're actually going to be reducing the tax rate and increasing exemptions to help with what we can do. But those assessments that are coming in are done by an independent body, not the city council. So we're going to be reducing the tax rate, considering that we want to help with the burden. But you're absolutely right. These bond programs are critical infrastructure. While the language is very much filled with legalese, what we can tell you without a doubt, this is fact, it's not going to increase your tax rate. In fact, we're going to be lowering it. It is capital improvement spending, which is done by issuing general obligation bonds once they're approved by the council, once they're approved by the public. But that's how critical infrastructure is built all across the state of Texas and really all across the community, so that we can make sure that we have roadways and sidewalks and parks to enjoy that are needed now, rather than having to wait 30 years to be able to build this stuff.
I want your take on something that I know in black and white is a county issue, but in silver and black, it's a Spurs issue and a city issue. The Spurs asking to play home games outside of the city of San Antonio. Your thoughts on what you've seen so far?
Obviously, I understand the concerns, but, looking at the Spurs, they have had a long history here in San Antonio, and they have local ownership that's committed to staying in San Antonio, from R.C. Buford all the way to the ownership that includes Peter John Holt and the Holt family. And, their commitment has been made very clear to the future of the Spurs organization being here in San Antonio. And I take them at their word. Of course, we have to make sure that local ownership continues to remain in control of this organization. That's where I think you're hearing some of the nerves come in. But there is a clear commitment from the ownership all the way through the management of the Spurs organization to a long-term future here in our community. Now, with respect to broadening their base into Mexico and up and down the 35 corridor, that's nothing new. This is something that had been considered for many years. They have, in fact, been playing games in other locations. So I understand what they're trying to do in terms of increasing their fan base. And I don't question their commitment to San Antonio. We want to make sure that the local ownership continues to remain in control of the organization long term.
Yeah, I think it's the Austin component that really hits that nerve that you're talking about. And just because San Antonio has been part of so many conversations in the past about potentially expanding our footprint in pro sports, and yet it's never happened. So just zooming out from this particular issue, do you think there's anything that stands in our city's way of that?
With respect to what, Myra?
In terms of looking at bringing more pro sports to our area.
Whether it's soccer, or baseball, or football.
Yeah.
Or,
The MLS, of course, going to Austin being the
Absolutely.
most recent example.
No, and certainly understand and feeling a little snake bitten by the process that went clearly outside the lines with the MLS. But the truth of the matter is, just like when we're talking about flights, connections to major airports, the market to support, the financial market, the business support has to be there in our local community. And that is what has been lagging behind other major cities in the country. But let's be clear, it's coming in a hurry here in San Antonio. We're harnessing that. We're trying to make sure that folks here in our community can take those good jobs that will be planted right here in San Antonio. And as those businesses grow, as the financial base continues to grow to support major investments like that, pro sports is one of those major investments. And I'm very much looking forward to new franchises coming to San Antonio and other leagues, because we have a base of fans that will support it. And as far as the gold standards of pro sports franchises in the world, the Spurs organization is at the top of the list. They have been committed to San Antonio for a long time. Their words and their actions remain in that way. And we want to make sure that the Holtz and the local ownership that has done so well for this community, as they expand their base, remain committed to San Antonio as well.
Mayor Ron Nirenberg, always appreciate your time on the Q&A.
Thank you all very much.